Hi guys, here's my first macrame attempt. This is sort of a candy stripe. It's the easiest project I could find to start with, and as you can see it's really stiff. I can hold it like this and it will just stay up, and I had a hard time figuring out how to do this very simple sort of a candy stripe macrame bracelet. Now, when I finish this up, there need to be beads, like 2mm Swarovski beads in between the white stripes, but let's start at the beginning. What I'm using is, I'm using cotton, and it's very thin. The regular macrame is done with embroidery thread, but I like to use cotton because I want to go a little thinner. The embroidery thread for me is too thick, but you can use embroidery thread, of course. That's the regular macrame. The micro macrame, they use Ceylon thread, which is your regular beading thread, but that's just too thin. I'm not gonna go micro either. So I'm somewhere in between, and this is about the regular size wide of it with 10 threads, and you got about, let me see, about 6mm wide with 10 threads. And I want to teach you this because I really love doing macrame. That's why I started my macrame channel. If you never macrameed before, just get any kind of thread you have in the house. If you have embroidery thread, try it with embroidery thread. If you have wool in the house because you like to knit, then try using wool. Well, let me tell you, I really had a hard time getting this straight, and in order to start doing this, learning this, if you've never done it before, the best thing to do is what I did, trying to figure it out. You need some tape. You can either use white tape or you can use the thin tape. Depends on what your thread is like. If it's going to be really big, like for instance, I got silk thread here, which is really big. See? This is the same with 5 threads like that. So if you use big thread like that, I suggest you get something like that in tape. Just don't use duct tape because that will definitely damage your project. But I'm going to do it here with cotton. So just pick up something that you got in the house and see if you will like what macrame is about. And if you do, well, then just get some cotton. You don't have to get all colors. I started off with just 2 colors. Let me see, where is that project? I started off with when I first started doing this is the first piece actually I made. I started just off with some regular cotton that is cream color, and I had some black thread that is a little bigger already that I bought in Australia when I was there on vacation. So you really don't need a lot of colors. We'll get to this too, I promise. But in order for people to really start learning it, and I have to say I always like to learn with the most difficult projects, but let's start at the beginning because that's basically what is more important. So we're gonna do a stripe like this. Make it stiff, that it will stand like this. So what I want to do is I want to start with a stripe like this, and I will be teaching you guys the right way. It took me a while to figure it out how to do it the right way, but now that I figured it out, we might as well go there. Although I do have to say the wrong way is still easier for me. That's about it. And what you need, if you're going to use cotton, if you have it in the house, then you need about an arm span and a half wide per thread. So we're going to use 10 threads, and we're going to set up with that. So every row is a color thread until I finish up with the light blue. Then I start over again with 4. So I got 4 dark blues, 1 light blue, 1 dark blue, 2 whites, 1 dark blue, and 1 light blue. And all those together are 10 threads. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same, but with a different color. And you need about an arm span and a half, I would say, just to make sure that you got enough thread. So what I wanted to do is I want to start off with this color. I really like that. It's kind of, well, not really yellow, not really orange either. So I'm going to take an arm span and a half wide of this, and I'm going to cut that off, and I need 4 of these to start with. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to keep them together and just measure, and I'm just going to measure the second thread by the first thread. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off too. Got that. Then I'm going to take my third thread and measure it back like that. Just hold that together and just measure that. So I got 3 of these. I need 4. And this is so I don't confuse myself. This is my first 4 lines. Now I need one other color that comes after the 4 first, the first 4 of the same color. And I got all these in lunch bags, because these threads, when they go loose, they go everywhere. They entangle with the other cotton balls. So I'm just putting every cotton ball into a bag to just make sure that they don't entangle all up together. And I'm going to take the purple one and measure that by my orange ones. So this is the next color. Then after purple comes another orange, so I'm picking up my orange again. Measuring that. And this is best not done with a band-aid on your finger, so the cotton doesn't stick to your band-aid, which it does in my case, but oh well. Got that off. After that, if you want your Swarovski beads, your 2mm Swarovski beads on there, you need a white one, because that will look best with your Swarovski beads for the bling. So now I'm going to measure 2 white ones. Okay, these are my 2 whites. Now I need another orange one, and then a purple one, and then we're done. So we can, and I pull that through, measuring that the same way, and then we're going to cut that off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good amount of space to tie a knot, but I'm not going to tie that knot tight. I'm just going to leave it loose like that. Okay? And then first I'm going to clean up all these cotton balls, because I don't want any of these threads to entangle with my cotton balls while I'm working, and threads will be flying all over the place. So that's the best thing to do, is make sure you have a clean working environment. If you have a clipboard, then you should use that. I use a paper slider that I can push down. So I'm going to put my knot behind the paper slider, and I'm going to push it down. Now, I'm going to take all my threads, put them on my right side, and I'm going to pick my threads that I wanted. I want 4 threads at the beginning, and this is probably going to tangle up a bit, but just pull them out one by one. I wanted 4 orange threads to begin with. That's 1. And I'm going to pull that. See, that white one is more to the right, but I'm going to pull that underneath it like that. I'm going to pick up another orange thread. I'm going to pick up the first one I bump into. That's that one. And I'm going to pull that also out of the bunch. And I'm going to put that right next to the first one. Pull that aside like that. Don't pull too hard so you don't pull your knot completely tight. We need to untangle that knot later. going to pick up my third one. That's this one. Pull that out like that. And then I'm going to pull that to the side. I'm going to grab that knot and pull that up a little bit more. And now I need one more. I'm going to pick that up right there. Pull that out carefully. Okay, now I got 4. I'm going to pull that to the front, pulling the white ones back, and then came a purple. So I'm going to pick up the purple, pull that out. As you can see, that's knotting under my fingers, but it's okay, it will pull out. There's my purple. Get the whites out of the way. Hold that knot so you don't pull that knot tight. Now you get the 2 white ones. Holding that white one, pulling it out of the bunch. And now I'm running into a knot that I can't unknot, but what I do is I just pull that down and see what happens. There, I got my white one out. Now I need the next white one. Oh, wait, there was an orange one that came in between the white ones. So let me put that, get one of the orange ones. That one. I'm gonna pick up the white ones and the purple one, and I'm going to go there underneath it carefully, picking up the knot again. There, right, I needed it next to the purple one, so I got it right there. Purple, orange, white, white, orange. Untangle the last 2 of them. Well, they're not really tangled all that badly. And I'm going to put my purple one on the side. And then my orange one. So now they are in order. I'm going to pull that a little bit tighter together. See, now I got the order I want. I'm going to take my first 2, get those out. Make sure that those are on the left side, and everything else, I'm going to carefully pick that up and put that on my right side. So we're going to start with these 2 first. Pull them apart. And my orange will be my first line, the first line of orange, not the second line. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold on the second one, and we're going to take the first one and put it over our finger, and we put it into the loop, and we're going to take that through the loop, and then we're going to pull that one that we hold with our right hand straight down, and the other one straight up. And just pull your knot in now as far as possible, and get that as tight to your clipboard as you can. We're going to do that again. Hold it. Throw it over your finger, get it into the loop, and pull it through. And watch out for rope burn, because I had that several times. And then we're going to pull that up and tighten that together. Now, this is the knot that should be on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of pull them tight together like that. Just a little bit, not too hard, like that. And I'm going to throw this thread now to the other side, to the left side all the way, and that will be the first thread we start off with the next row. And I'm going to pick up my second orange, and I'm just going to leave these threads like that. I'm not going to try and entangle these and entangle this from the whole bunch I got here. So I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going through it with my thread, and I'm going to hold that down straight, and I'm going to go up as far as possible. Do it again. My thread is on my finger. I'm going to go over it, loop it, pull it through, and this is as tight a knot as I can make. And the reason for that is when I'm going to stop this, because this is like an 8 to 10 hour project, I need to make sure that all my knots are as tight as when I started. So pull them as tight as you can, and then this is the one that you've been looping with. So put that to the side a little bit and make that go to the other side. Just don't try and untangle them anymore, because they're too long for untangling. Get your third one, pick it up with your right hand, and your left thread goes over your finger into the loop, and make sure you got that straight down like that, and then pull that up, and do it again over the finger into the loop, and pull that up, straight up. See what I'm doing? I'm holding my thread straight down. So I want that to be on the top, and you can also, if you want to make sure that that's tight enough, use both of them like that, pull them tight. And just kind of make sure that this goes to the side a bit. And now we're going to pick up our purple thread. So we're going to pick up our purple thread, put it on our finger, loop over it with the orange thread, and go through right there, and pull that up like that. And you will be pulling the knot at the end, but that's okay, don't worry about it. Do it again. There, and keep that straight down, and pull that up. Make sure those are tight together, and just for security's sakes, pull it like that again. Now, okay, so remember, this one goes in your left hand. Pick up the next thread, which is the orange thread again. Go over your finger into the loop and pull that up straight down. This one straight down, and do that again over your finger into the loop, and keep that thread straight down. And if that knot is a little bigger than the previous one, just tighten them up like that. Okay, make sure you got the right thread. You can see, if you get confused with your colors, that this thread is actually going that way. So that's the one that you're working with. That's the one that goes in your left hand. Now we're going to pick up 2 whites, but first we're going to pick up 1 white, one at a time. Going to go over your finger into the loop and pull that up tight, and do that again over the loop. Pull it up straight down the white thread. Okay, that nice and tight. Okay, there we go. Move the white thread over, pick up another white, and we'll do that again over the finger into the loop, straight down and up, over the finger into the loop, white thread goes straight down, and pull that up. Okay, moving over the white thread, picking up the orange thread again, over the finger into the loop, and orange thread straight down like that, and then over the finger into the loop. Hold on to the orange thread straight down there, and make sure that that is tight. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom you in a bit. There. Now this thread is a little bit too far away from the rest of them, so just pull that over a bit. Pick it up over the finger into the loop, and then pull that tight. over the finger, into the loop, and pull that tight, and then straighten that out a bit like that, and you got your first row. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to start that row all over again, then do the second row, and we need to get, we already untangled the first thread, so let's untangle the second thread. And then just kind of move this bunch over very carefully to your right again. And it will be tangling, but that's okay, don't worry about it. So I got my second thread out, fairly easy, and I'm going to do that again. This is the one I'm going to be holding, and this is the one I'm going to be working with. So that goes over my finger, into the loop, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Pull that up, and I'm going to do that again. Keep that straight, and it's very important. And then I'm going to just turn that over. So that's the knot that you see on the front. I'm going to pick up my second thread, and I'm going to move it over all the way to the left. I don't want that to entangle anymore with my other threads. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the second one, hold it, over the finger, into the loop, and then straight down, up, over the finger, into the loop, straight down, and up. And I'm going to just turn it around a bit, see if that's a nice knot. Yes, it is. And I'm going to just move that over. Not over here, not over here, but I'm just going to move it over a little bit like that. I don't care if they entangle. Let them go. I'm going to pick up the next one. Over the finger, into the loop, straight down, pull that up, over the finger, into the loop, and straight down, and pull that up and push that over to the other knot. I like turn it around like that, see if it looks nice. Good loop, good knot. Yep. Getting the orange one, over the finger, into the loop, and so on all the way to the end. So I want to show you something when we get a little further down. Now hold that down straight, up, down straight. And if you got nails, this is perfectly, because you can just put it in there with your nail. But if you don't, like I don't right now, nothing I can do about it. There you go. It will work just fine. So get another white one, and make sure that you got your threads in line and that you don't pick up the wrong one. One, and straight down, two, pull that over, nice knot, yes. And now you can see that my orange is next, but when you look here it looks like the pink one is next, so you got to be careful. So picking up the two threads and splitting them, and pick it up and pull that straight down and up all the way. Pull it straight down through the loop, pull it straight down and up all the way. Now get the pink one, pick it up and pull it straight down. Now that thread already seems to be going a little bit in that direction. Do not be fooled. Pick up your thread, pull it straight down and pull it up. And this is one of the mistakes that I made. I kind of went with the thread because it was going that way. I was holding it that way. It's not good. You got to pull it straight down and up. There. And of course that's worse with the last thread. This thread, of course, is coming out on the top. So this thread is actually going all the way to the right. Don't be fooled. Pick it up, take it down through the loop, and hold it straight down. Pull it up tight. Through the loop, hold it straight down and pull it up tight. And now this one is going all the way to the right, coming out of that row. So you got to be careful. The last thread also needs to go straight down, and you're inclined to do this and keep it like this and then tie a knot like that. But don't do that. Don't be fooled. Okay, so now we're going to pick up our next 2 threads, and one is already on the side, and we're going to throw everything on the right side again carefully, and we're going to do our 3rd row. So do about 4 rows and then watch what I'm going to do next. Okay, so pause me now, do 4 rows in total, and then I'll show you what's coming next. If you're getting to your last threads, you will see that the end is flipping up. Please don't be fooled. Don't try to pull that straight. Just pull that straight down, and we're going to flip that. And now it's just kind of curving over the rest of that. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that it's tight and flipped up. So now we did 4 rows, and we're going to start the next row with the purple thread. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this off, get it off your clipboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to tape that down. So we're going to get some tape, and then you're kind of working like this, and it's very annoying. So what I'm doing is I'm taping it down for now, and I'm still going to work that way. I'm still going to work this way, but it's okay because I'm just going to move my tape over later on. So we're going to pick up the next thread, and we now also took care of that end flipping up. You can do about 3 rows before that end starts flipping up again in an annoying little way. And then you just need to tape about every 3 rows. So we're going to do another 3 rows now. I'm going to put that. And now it's much easier also to do. The clipboard is not in the way. So make that nice and tight. Pull that around like that. And then make sure that your first thread is all the way to your left. There. Pick up the next one. And flip it over. Let me put that back on my hands. Get the camera a little bit more towards me. There. Now, picking it up again. Putting it over my finger. And pulling that as tight as I can. Because I want to make sure when I stop today that I can pick it up again tomorrow. And now I see I picked up the wrong white thread. I should have picked up this white thread. So, as we make boo-boos along the way, this is how we solve them. Pick up your tape and turn it around. And then you need a needle. And very carefully unpry the first knot you see. Just open it up a little bit. Like that. And then get the back of your needle, which is more blunt. Open that up a little further. Pry the second one down carefully. Open it up a little further too. And now get your white thread out of there. Carefully. So that's how you take care of it when you do it incorrectly. Pull your white thread all the way through. Like that. And now be careful with the tape. Get your needle out of the way. Be careful with your tape. And make sure that you got all your threads back where they need to be. And then just paste that down again. Like that. Okay, so that's how you take care when you do it incorrectly. I'm glad I didn't have to create that in order to show you, but I did it wrong to start with. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that that thread is all the way to the left again. Pick up our pink. Now pick up the correct white one. And then we're gonna go over the finger into the loop. And we're gonna do our next row. And that's all there is to it. And when you do about 3 rows, then, or 2 rows, maybe 2 or 3 rows, well, you'll see when that end starts flipping up, you need to tape it down again. Okay, so just continue and I will show you where I'm about at when that end starts to flip up for me again. Yeah, I got about 3 rows down when I need another piece of tape because that starts flipping up again. And this is just how you're going to continue. You can use the less thread if that line is not really straight, to straighten that out a bit like that. Pull it down a bit and where you want it, in what kind of direction. And you can use your scissors to just push that in with the wrist if that is a little bit out of order and that line is not really straight. So that's just the way you're going to continue. Make sure that stays straight. Tape that down right. And then you're just going to do the next 2 or 3 rows or 4 rows maybe before it starts flipping up. I'm just going to make sure that it is nice and tight. I'm going to flip it over the finger again. And make sure that that thread in your right hand always goes straight down, and go and do it nice and tight. And it's actually a little tighter now than in the beginning, but that's okay. We can still get the first couple of rows loose and redo that later on if that doesn't look that good. So keep that down tight, keep it down through the loop, keep it down and tight and all the way up. I'm going to move that over. And yes, by now my threads are really entangled, but that's okay. I can always get the first two threads out, and that's the most important thing. And somewhere along the way you will probably have to take a little bit more time to get them untangled, but that's okay. It will look really pretty. This is not really good color combination. It fits, but it's still not really good. I hope you will come up with some better color combinations. Just continue this until it's long enough. And how do I measure if it's long enough? Well, it depends if you want to tie up your friendship bracelet with a knot, or if you want to add a clasp. So that's 2 different things. I'm going to do this one with knots. Well, not this one. This one is going to have a clasp. This is the second one I'm making. The blue one is going to be knotted because that is for a 12-year-old girl. I hope she likes it. If not, I hope she'll be honest enough to tell me so. So pause me now and I'll show you how to finish up the bracelet. So when you get down to the end, tape down your bracelet straight and then get a piece of tape that will also go like this. Okay, make sure you can still see the first row, and then we're going to pick up the last 2. Oh, what I also wanted to say is I did 4 rows too many on this bracelet. So what I did was I got them all out, and of course these were all curled up. So what I did was I took some water and I wet my fingers, and I just went like this with wet fingers, and then at the end I tied down my scissors to it and I just hung it down for it to straighten out. And that's what cotton is great that way. So if you ever get to a part where you need to untangle a lot of them and they get all curly up, then just put some water on your fingers, run it down your threads till it's nice and straight and wet, and hang it overnight to dry on a pair of scissors at the end, and you'll be perfect. Okay, what we're going to do now is I want a line to go straight like that. And for that, we're going to pick up the first thread in our left hand. So I'm going to pick up my second thread now with my left hand. And I'm going to go over my left finger into the loop. And I'm going to pull that straight and tie that knot. I'm going to do that again, over my finger, into the loop. And this is the loop now that you want. I'm pulling it up a little bit more because I need to go straight. So I'm doing that like that. And I'm going to try and stay on the white line that I have here. So you could get a piece of paper and draw a line on there where you want to go. Okay, so I'm going to pick up my second thread over my finger into the loop. And this is the loop that I want right now. So make sure you got the right loop. It's the loop from the thread that you pick up with your right hand. I'm pulling that up a little bit more, trying to keep that straight. Picking up my third one. Going over my finger. And you're just going to do this all the way till the end. Pull that over the finger into the loop. Keep that one thread a little bit more up. And that's going pretty well, I think. Okay. Next one. So just do it with all of these and then pause me by the time you get to the end. But be careful that you do it correctly. Because now the threads that are colored also need to go in there. That's what I want to see. There, I think I did pretty well. So now we're going to pick up the last thread again, pick it up in our right hand, and then we're going to turn over our right finger with the first thread in line. And now it needs to be the blue thread again. Like that. So make sure that your threads are in the correct order and that you loop with the correct color. And there, that's 2. So picking up the next one. And now we're going to do that all the way back to the end and try to get as close as you can underneath that first line. It's a little bit difficult. It can be done. Over the finger, into the loop. You might want to pull that up also, like that. Get the white one. Over the finger, into the loop. And the next one, and all the way to the end with this also. Okay, so do this all the way to the end and pause me now and I'll show you what's next. And what I do next is I'm going to untape this. Turn it around. Tape it again. There. And I am going to, let me move that over, I'm going to pick up 3 threads. I'm going to pick up 4 threads, and I got 3 threads. So now I'm going to weave it, and I'm doing that on the back. Start weaving on the back and try and stay in the middle a little bit. I'm moving over like that. And I'm just going to weave. I'm going to make this a long weave because this is for my little friend and she will need to put a new knot in there herself. So I'm going to make it a long weave so her mom can cut off the first knot, tie a second knot in there, and then cut that first knot off and it will be okay. So it's going to be a long weave. And then I'm going to tie a knot in here. Make sure I got the knot on the weaved area. There. And I'm going to cut off my threads. And there. That's part 1. Now, this is of course too long. A thread to work with when you tie your knots, especially for a little girl, but her mom needs to just tie a knot somewhere where she wants it, like maybe here, and then cut off the other thread. So that will work perfectly. And then whatever you did here, you're going to do it here also. Untie that knot and just do what you did here on this side. And I don't think I have to explain how to sew on some beads to you guys. But that's about it. I hope you liked it.